kind of share with me why you wanted to chat with me about Boss Club today?
Sure, absolutely. So I just want to say thank you for the question. Like, it just really helped a lot because yes, I know I was a guest speaker, but at the same time, I always believe that there's always something to learn. There's something new to like definitely improve. I never believe that I know it all, irrespective of whatever my degree is. So I'm always looking for opportunity to say, how can I be better? Because all of us, even though we are in the same industry, there are different people that only listen to our voices. That every other person might have told them, but it's only your voice, like that they will listen to, or it's only my voice that they will listen to because of wherever they may be in that regard as well. And so for me, one of the things that I really loved about this was like just like first and foremost, like helping me to like believe that I could charge my worth, because that was one of the biggest challenge like ever since I started my consulting business, was like being able to charge that worth over and over again, but like going back to the lessons, watching it, and then that was one. And then the second thing was about the accounting. Like I really love like how you brought I think it's Stephanie, I think if I got that name right, and the playbook and all of that. And that was just so good. And so finally this year, last year, between last August and this year, I finally have a business account. Even though I've been working since 2019, I never got the business account. And then I was able to use the profit first way. And so now, because within the business account that I have, you can have up to 6 accounts. So I have like an account dedicated to putting my tax, an account for my own pay. So it just felt good to have my own pay, because usually I just always reinvest everything back into the business, and I can't see anything for like profit or owner's pay or like for operating expense. So now I've been able to separate those things, and I'm actually using the Excel book now. So like throughout like last month, that was one of the biggest things that I did, was to work hard to get my books in order, and then to be able to forecast into the future what I wanted to do and the things I wanted to do. So that was really, really helpful as well. And then before, I've never really done like my full package of the kind of services I offer and things like that. And so I was able to really take the time to like really create what I want, what kind of a client do I want to work with, and really get really detailed about it. And just to really, and that reinforcement of believing over and over again that it is possible. Like right now, and I don't mind sharing, like now I have like 2 clients that, because I go through like a process before. I want to work with only people that, like you said, aligns with what you align with and things like that. And then I don't want to lie to people to say, oh, let me just take your money. And then I know that they are not ready. And so now I've been able to create like different funnels to say, if you're not ready for grant based on my assessment right now, but this is what you can do. Get your board right. Get these right along the process as well. Then over time, I can now get you grant ready to be ready for it. But right now, you're just going to be wasting your money if you pay me, because I know for a fact that if you do this, yes, they will accept the proposal. They will never say no in the beginning when you submit the proposal, right? But later, when it's time for them to now get back to you, they will not say, sorry, you don't qualify. Sorry, you didn't get the grant. And so I was just really able to like really establish those routines to say, you know what? Yes, there are some things that will not be services. I'll say, do it yourself. This is a course I've created it. Do that. And then that's like something that is bringing like passive or semi-passive revenue. Because sometimes I still do consultation for like 30 minutes. Okay, thank you for buying my course. Now that you've watched it, what did you learn? If you have questions, you can pick my brain for 15 to 20 minutes. So I think that's like an extra added value that I give to them. But back to the grant, like right now, I have a client that is like on a 3-month retainer basis, and like I'm able to bring like in decide. I like to start them the first month because it's almost auditing and making sure they are grant ready and have everything. So I like to go through the whole thing the first month, and then maybe just do some LOIs during the first month. So I don't do any full grant application. And so for instance, I started like with $2,000 just to do an audit and do like 2 or 3 LOIs and things like that. And then the subsequent month is now like $3,500 for like writing one grant and like maybe sending 3 LOIs out. And that's like one for the next 3 months. And then another client the same way too, like we're starting with 3,500 for 3 months, and then after that is going to go to 5,000. And so just being able to like have a contract to like, because my contract has always been like up and down, so I was able to fine tune it very well and to make it more like decent looking and more like the language that it needs to be, not that what I just came up with and I wasn't sure whether it was right or not, or what I saw on Google. And so that was just really helpful as well. I was able to do that. And so now like I fully know that I can replace myself. If I don't want to do my job as a professor again, I can do it, because it's true. Like one after tax is removed from what I earn, like I'm going to make times 2 of what I'm making in my job as an assistant professor with just 2 clients alone.
Can we stop there, please? Stop.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
I want everybody to hear that because so many people hold professorships in such high esteem, and they should be for the amount of work you put in, the education, the years that it takes to get your PhD, but the actual pay does not match the input.
Much. No, no, no,
I have so
no.
many friends who I think would like to leave academia, but it's just so overwhelming to imagine how you could replace your salary. And so you said you were going to make two times what you would be bringing after
No,
taxes.
absolutely. Yeah, it's like let's just say 2.5 at least. Like, and it's like already like I'm already on track. Like this, like the invoice that I've gone out, the payment that have come in already this month, I'm making more than I've ever had as an assistant professor, and that is huge on so many levels for me because like already like it's just on so many levels. So yeah, you're right. A lot of people ask because I thought about it too. Like, wait, it looks comfortable, yes, it's safe, but honestly, in terms of the impact of what we can do, in part of the way the world is going and the non-profit sector, we need more people on this side of consulting, writing, who can actually stand behind all of these people that are out there doing the work. I have transitioned from them because if you know my story, I started as in 2012 to run the non-profit, right? And I started that and I did that and I did it well. But I realized that many people were asking me for help in terms of funding and everything. And I realized there were not a lot of people who were doing that side. A lot of people want to help, but when it comes to like thinking about strategizing, writing, and getting those funding pathways for nonprofit to do the work they want to do, it was not there at all. So yes, it can be scary. And like actually, I'm giving myself like 1.5 years, like notice, like I've already written it down to say this day I am going to officially like once I continue on this path in this kind of way that I'm doing. And so that was another thing that really also helped as well. And then just also like the pitching one that you did, that every time that you look for opportunities for like people that you want to work with, and then you start the cultivation process in terms of like, let me nurture this relationship, let me send them an email and like not being afraid to put myself out there because yes, I do a bit of that, but like I've always used other like sites like Upwork and the rest of them. And so one of the challenge that I gave myself is like every month I will send out at least like once a week, like 10 like email that like I've created different emails. I got a VA to help me look for, like I gave them a specific of the kind of nonprofit I want to work with and their area of interest and things like that and the state as well. And so now I created a script where I now used to like reach out to them. And so far it has been really interesting. That's where one of the prize is actually coming from through that code outreach as well. And so now like for this month, I'm giving myself the challenge of doing 100. And I just want to like, I never know when they are going to see it right, but at least planting the seed and then like the fear of like failing or fear of what if they say no, what if I don't hear from them is so much reduced in a lot of ways. And it doesn't cost me a lot to do it now. It's not like I'm taking time out of my area of focus or area of my genius. Now I have like a VA that I can easily pay their own work and then they can do the work for me while I focus on other things as well. And so creating those systems and things like that. And so that has really been just helpful. But yes, the biggest thing for me was like, even my husband was like, oh my God, like he was so excited for me because he knows the journey of the ups and downs. And it was like, I'm so glad you didn't quit on yourself. I'm so glad you did all the things you did to get here. But yes, it can be a bit scary, but I will tell you that don't be afraid. Like you don't have to leave immediately. Give yourself some time, create a contingency plan, see what you can do. Like I started with like, okay, if I can make $100, if I can make 200, if I can make 500, and gradually like the little has become much that way. So give yourself time. Don't think that you have to put yourself on this. It has to happen in 3 months, online. And that's what I love about you so much, Krista, is that you don't like lie about the result or your process to say, oh, you get it in 2 months or 1 month. It's like, it takes process. You shared your story. Like the first year I heard this, now 6 or plus years later, this is where I am. And so I just really love that. And more people need to hear that and to see that it is possible. It's not going to be like a magical one that will just appear immediately, but it's a matter of just taking those steps little by little and being consistent in the way that you show up. And if you deliver good, people are going to rally around what you do. If you deliver good, if you are true to your clients, if you're true to yourself, and you really serve them with your almost utmost self, you're never going to be run out of clients. And there's so much more for all of us because every day thousands of non-profits are being started. So we're never going to run out of people that want to help anyway. And so there's always somebody for you that will hear your voice, that will listen to you, that will like the way that you do things. And so don't be afraid to make the leap. Like start on the side, do it little by little, and then before you know it, when you feel more comfortable and you can see, okay, 3 months, 6 months, I'm able to make it consistently, then you can say, okay, maybe it's time to say goodbye to this side. It's not that it's not great or good, it's just like for your next stage, for the next level you want to get into, you might need to do that as well. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so many. I don't know. I'm being inundated right now with ads for like, here's how I made $1 million in 40 minutes. Literally, someone saying they made $1 million in 40 minutes. I'm like, okay, but how long did it take you to get to that point?
And how much did you spend on app? What was your profit versus the money you spent on even getting us to see it as well? Because that's what they don't tell you the truth. They say 6 figure, 7 figure. But within those 6 and 7 figure, there's so much that goes on, and they don't remove the expenses. They only tell you, oh, the sales that they made. But
Right.
sales is not the actual number, right? And so, yeah, so like, I'm like, I just love when people are like, you know what, this is it. We do the work and then you get the result. That's the, like, think of a farmer. They have to plant something, and sometimes it takes some time. Sometimes, depending on the kind of seed that you're looking for, you get what you need. And so, absolutely. But if you're thinking of jumping, like Krista is the very best, one of the very best in the world. So do not hesitate. Everything she does is golden, is of quality. So you're going to be in the right hand, and she will guide you along the way. You do your part. Krista has already done her part. She has provided a great platform, a great community, quality in terms of curriculum and what she delivers as well. So if you show up, if you at least believe in yourself enough to even try, if you implement anything that she says, you are going to get the result for sure.
And we have great guest speakers like Omotola as well.
Yes, to be your sounding board and to encourage you and to share my own story too, from like, this is where I am, this is the stage. Because all of us will be in different stages, but I promise you, there is enough room for everybody, and it is possible. You're not too late in starting, and you're not too early. It is never too late or too early for you to jump in and say, I want to own in on these skills. I want to get better. I want to make sure I can set up my business on a profitable and sustainable foundation. Like, it is so important, because for me, yes, like you just said, I'm a guest speaker, but at the same time, I'm a lifelong learner. Like, I'm always happy to learn and invest in whatever it will take for me to serve my clients to the very best of my ability. So I don't believe that I know it all. Even though I have 2 masters and PhD, it is not enough for me. It's like every day I'm thinking, what can I learn? What can I all learn? And that's the only way. And if you listen and you're coachable, honestly, like, the possibility are endless for you, and you are going to surpass whatever you think your goal was initially when you jump in and take that leap as well.
I love that you brought that up, because I'm always signing up for new courses. And I'm sure that's why I get so many ads. But I just, in the beginning, I thought like, oh, I have a PhD, I can figure out all this stuff. But no, I needed to continue learning, and I still do every single day. So I love that. People.
Yeah, it's like we are always growing, because the world is changing, right? That's the only thing that is constant. So we too, for us to be on our game, to teach people, to help them, we also have to keep learning. So, and then like with lifelong learner, you can never go wrong. Like, and that's just like, it's not even like about immunity. It's just about knowing that, you know what, maybe there's just one tiny strategy. You might know the rest of the 99%, but there might just be that one difference that person figured out. And then once you also now use it and apply it and make it your own, and you figure it out, it can make the difference as well, to help you and to help your clients be more successful. So absolutely, it's like, that's the best push shot to have, is like, always learn, but more than importantly, implement. Because if you don't implement and you just learn, nothing is going to change. Like I said, I first took the grant writing consultancy with you when you first launched it, when it was still the mini course. And yes, I did some parts, but I didn't do but after going back to the curriculum and going through, like, now I can see a whole lot of difference, and it has saved me a lot of headaches as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and I'm changing the course up this time so that people have more time from week to week to do work. So we're having like a week off in between each training week, so they can implement.
I like that. That is good. Yes, I think it's like, come with what you have. So it's like, do it, then come with it. Then if you have questions that, oh, I did this, but I'm not sure if it's right, I like that. That is so good. It's true, because you're right. Some people just keep keeping it off, because life happens. Like, that is so true. But yes, if you can give them that success, you have 7 days or more to breathe, and just whatever little step you can take, do it. then it just adds up. And then before they know it, like they are on their way, and then they are more confident, and then they are able to put themselves out there and do that for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, and one more thing that you brought up that I'm so excited you said, because I've noticed that you've been doing this, is having digital funnels that either lead people to become your clients, or people who want to be clients and aren't ready, you can send them down that way and have that just ongoing revenue stream with not too much work. I wouldn't say that it's just completely hands off, but
No, it's not. No, yeah. If you're doing it right, it's not completely out there. Because yes, you're right. There's a difference. Because I care about my clients, and that's one of the things I see. Like, you care so much about your clients and making sure, and your students, that they are good. And because I mean, I've been in your grant writing made easy course as well, so I know, like, you're always like checking in. You have monthly like support, or now it's now bi-monthly. It used to be 1 month, now it's 2 times a month that we get to have these resources if you choose to activate it right. And so, like, you're absolutely right. It's like, because I think, like, it's already lonely to be on this journey in the first place. Because I remember, as a non-profit founder, everybody thought I was crazy. Like, I got a good job offer after my master's degree, and I said no to it. I even got US citizenship, because then I was not a US citizen, and I said no to go back to Nigeria to start my non-profit. And everybody thought I was not. And it was such a lonely process. So, but to have this community, to be able to like compare notes with, to ask each other, to encourage each other, that is golden. And more than ever members to deal with. Now you have clients to manage that has different demands and things like that. And so sometimes it can be a lonely thing. But if you're in a community, you can share your wins, you can share your losses, you can share like the in-betweens of things, and just get encouragement from each other. And that can be the lifeline that will help you get over the beginning stage. Because yes, it can be a bit of a drag, because you're planting, you're sowing, and it seems as if nothing is germinating. But I promise you, it is budding. It is just not seen yet. And then before you know it, it's like, what? It is now up there. But it's because you did the planting. But if you didn't plant and you thought that, oh, I'm going to give up, then you will not see that, because you were not patient enough to see that. So absolutely, like, yes, you have to be willing to like invest those time to say, okay, let me check on these people. Even, and you can automate some of it, right? To say, it's just an email. That's care. And say, how are you doing? I know you bought this course. This is where you are. Like, you can put things in place. You can hire a VA who can do that. So, but yes, it will take some time. But honestly, that extra care goes a long way with your client. They'll never forget you, and they'll keep referring people to you, or they'll keep buying your program over and over again, because they know that you treated them right from the beginning.
absolutely. And you are just a motivational speaker at heart, Omotola. You really are. You're the
Thank you.
best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you for sharing about your experience with Boss Club and Grant Writing Made Easy. I appreciate it so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Yes.